Picture this. You've got two radar stations sitting exactly 20 miles apart on the ground. Suddenly, they both detect an aircraft flying somewhere in the sky right between them. Station A measures an angle of elevation of 35 degrees to the plane. Station B measures 15 degrees. Sounds like a simple textbook problem, right? You just use some basic trigonometry to find the height of the plane. But wait, if you actually think about the shape they're forming in the sky, it's not a right triangle at all. Which means all those standard sine, cosine, and tangent rules you spent hours memorizing, yeah, they completely fail here. So what do? How do you actually find the altitude of an aircraft if the math doesn't form a neat little right triangle? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to understand exactly what these non-right triangles are, the universal formula we use to solve them, and we'll even calculate this exact aircraft's altitude step by step. Okay, let's dive right in. First things first, we need a name for what we're actually dealing with here. Any triangle that does not contain a perfectly square 90-degree angle is called an oblique triangle. And our overall goal when solving an oblique triangle is to figure out the exact measurements of all three of its angles and all three of its side lengths. It's like a giant puzzle. But to actually crack these things, you need a starting point. You absolutely must have at least 3 known values to start your puzzle. And this is absolutely crucial. At least one of those values has to be a side length. To get started today, we're going to look at 3 solvable scenarios. First, ASA, which is where we know 2 angles and the sides squeezed right between them. Next is AAS, where we have 2 angles and a side just outside of them. And finally, SSA, which gives us 2 sides and an angle outside them. Now that we've got the basic idea down, let's move to the formula that makes solving these possible, the law of sines. I like to explain this using a buddy system. The formula sets up a series of ratios. Notice how the sine of an angle is always divided by its exact opposite side length. So angle alpha pairs with side A, beta pairs with side B, gamma pairs with side C. To unlock any oblique triangle, you just need one complete buddy pair, meaning one known angle and its known opposite side. Once you've got that, you set it equal to another ratio and boom, you can solve for any missing piece. Let's make this a bit easier to digest with a quick example. Imagine an ASS triangle where we know 2 of the angles are 50 degrees and 30 degrees, and the side directly opposite the 50-degree angle has a length of 10. Step 1, always find that third angle. We know triangles always add up to exactly 180 degrees. So 180 minus 50 minus 30 means our missing third angle has to be 100 degrees. Next, we set up our proportion. Our buddy pair here is the 50-degree angle and its opposite side of 10. So the sine of 50 degrees over 10 equals the sine of our 100-degree angle over our unknown side. Let's just call it B. Finally, you just multiply to isolate your unknown side. Punch that all into your calculator, and you'll find the length of side B comes out to right around 12.9. Now, wait a minute. This is a super important tip. When you're calculating these out, keep the exact long decimal values in your calculator for as long as possible. Don't round your intermediate steps. Only round at the very end. That keeps your math perfectly accurate. But here is where things get just a little bit tricky. And honestly, this is a huge trap for students. Have you ever been solving a triangle and you look at the geometry on the page and it clearly has a wide obtuse angle, greater than 90 degrees, but you hit enter on your calculator and it spits out a sharp, acute angle, like 49.9 degrees? So why does that actually happen? The reason is the ambiguous nature of the sine function itself. Your calculator is basically programmed to give you an acute angle in quadrant 1. But the thing is, sine is actually positive in both the first and second quadrants. That means there's a second hidden angle, the supplement. If your calculator says 50 degrees, the true angle for your specific shape could actually be 180 minus 50, which is 130 degrees. In certain situations, both angles could create perfectly valid but completely different triangles. This deceptive little math trick happens specifically in the SSA scenario, when you are given side-to-side angle. I like to call this the ambiguous case. To avoid making a massive mistake on your exam, you need to run a strict procedural check. First, just solve for the angle like normal. Second, calculate its supplement by subtracting it from 180. Third, take that brand new supplementary angle, add it to your originally given angle, and see if they fit inside 180 degrees. If they do, congratulations, you actually have 2 completely valid triangles that solve the problem. Now on the flip side, sometimes this SSA scenario gives you exactly 0 solutions. Let's say you set up your law of sines, you multiply things out, and you end up with the sine of your unknown angle equaling 1.915. Well, the maximum value of a standard sine wave is 1. So if you try to find the inverse sine of 1.915, your calculator is just going to scream error at you. What does that actually mean in the real world? It means the sides you were given are literally too short to connect. No triangle can physically exist with those dimensions. It's a broken shape. All right, so the main point here is that the law of sines is your master key for missing sides and angles. But it also gives us a really cool bonus tool, area. The traditional area formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. But in an oblique triangle, finding that perfect vertical height is a huge pain. Instead, we can literally swap out that unknown height with the sine of the included angle. The new formula? Area equals 1/2 side A times side B times the sine of angle gamma. Let's see just how fast this actually works in practice. Say you have a triangle with a side of 90, another side of 52, and the angle squeezed right between them is 102 degrees. You just plug those straight into the formula. 1/2 times 90 times 52 times the sine of 102 degrees. Boom, 2289 square units. You didn't need to draw any extra right triangles or calculate any perpendicular drops. It's direct, it's efficient, and honestly, it practically feels like cheating. Real-world resolution, solving the radar problem. Remember that aircraft from the very beginning? The one trapped between the two radar stations where basic right triangle math completely failed us. Let's connect this all to real life and finish the job. We'll walk through this step by step. Station A is at 35 degrees, Station B is at 15 degrees. Step 1, find that top angle at the aircraft. 180 minus 15 minus 35 gives us 130 degrees. We now have our buddy pair. The 130-degree angle perfectly matches the 20-mile distance between the stations on the ground. Step 2, use the law of sines to find the distance from one station to the plane. Let's solve for side A. Sine of 130 over 20 equals sine of 35 over A. Solve that out, and A is 14.98 miles. Now, notice what just happened here. The law of sines acted as a bridge. It gave us the hypotenuse for a brand new right-angled triangle. Step 3, now we just use basic right triangle sine. The final height is 14.98 times the sine of that 15-degree angle. And there we have it. The final altitude of the aircraft is exactly 3.9 miles. That is the immense real-world power of understanding oblique triangles. You just went from an unsolvable geometric puzzle to precisely tracking a commercial aircraft in the sky, all by understanding how a few ratios balance each other out. Before we wrap this up, let's do a really quick recap of the key points you'll want to lock into your memory. Number 1, oblique triangles completely lack a 90-degree angle. Number 2, you use the law of sines buddy pair proportion to unlock any of those missing sides and angles. Number 3, always check the 180-degree supplement when you're dealing with the ambiguous SSA case, just to see if a second valid triangle exists. And finally, number 4, you can find the area of these tricky triangles instantly using 1/2 A times B times the sine of the included angle. So you've now got this incredibly powerful mathematical tool belt for oblique triangles, but I want to leave you with a bit of a puzzle to think about. The law of sines requires a buddy pair, an angle and its opposite side. But what do you do if you're looking at a triangle and you only know the lengths of all 3 sides and you know absolutely 0 angles? The buddy system completely fails there. So how do you solve that? Well, to crack that code, you're going to need the law of cosines, and that is exactly what we'll be exploring in our next